What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Tides, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys. I wanted to talk about survival mode because survival mode will be going on pause very shortly, and this is the best I've ever done on survival mode, which is, I don't know how people would feel about it, but I made it up to silver 2, which again, it may not seem like much, and I know this is mainly just a post about like my progress with the game and with survival mode specifically, but the way that I look at it, it's a different way to evaluate the kind of like level of progression that I have in the game. Now, again, I haven't played, a ton of battles. In fact, we can go here and see exactly where I'm at on the leaderboard. But for example, current amount of battles, I haven't even hit like 100 battles yet, right? So I'm not even allowed to be on the leaderboard, but I am in silver. When you look at, a lot of the other players, they're playing, 300 battles here, 100 battles, 200. So I could probably knock out a couple more battles before it's all said and done, since I got a couple of hours left. But for example, right? So even like look at Vugt is playing like 1,200 battles. This is like 12x, more than 12x the amount that I'm playing. Brave Tofu, shout out to Brave Tofu, 740 battles. So you can see just where the level is at. So again, what I like about survival mode and what it's become for me is this idea of like, having to pick and choose carefully, having to go through and see, which cards are available to me. Obviously, which ones I'm willing to lose, which ones I am not willing to lose, right? And in many ways, like it's made the game, like this version of the game has become really fun for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I still like playing in wild format, and I still do play in modern, although I just do the practice battles because I don't have the cards, right? So it's like there's 3 different games to me, which is kind of fun. Every time I am able to do a battle in Wild, for example, I jump in and I'm like, oh wait, I have access to everything. This is kind of cool, right? Let's see what's available. But when I go into survival mode, what makes that really fun is it's like hit or miss. Sometimes you come across somebody who's just as depleted as you are, right? And maybe they're throwing, I haven't really seen them throwing a game away, but it's like they'll come in with just like level 1 cards because that's all they have available. Maybe it's only 1 or 2 elements. And so, you can see how far people go with it. And so again, like it's become something different for me, and I love the fact that it's differentiated itself. Now, what's going to be interesting is when these new rules come in, and I don't have them all off the top of my head, I do wonder how that is going to impact the rewards, which, again, even for me, if you look at this, like I'm in silver 2, again, just based on the amount of like SPS that I have staked, which is close to 500k. So, make it that whatever you will. I'm only making like 1 to 2 SPS per win, right? So here's 1.5. Let's see, 1.4, right? And this was only towards the end when I was like in the upper levels of silver 3, just trying to get into silver 2, because I got to silver 2 and then I lost it, and I was like, I really want to like finish the season at silver 2. Not that it even matters, but it's just like I wanted to finish the season at silver 2. And maybe just to record this video, right? To be like, hey, look, I did it, I made it. And so again, what I love about this mode is just the simple fact that it's different. And my hope moving forward, and I say this not just for survival mode, but I actually want to include wild format as well. My hope is that moving forward, the team is able to do more things to differentiate both survival mode and wild format from modern, right? Like I really view this as like these should be like when we say that they're different game modes, they should offer different experiences. And survival has become that for me, right? More than enough where it's just like, dude, I'm playing for like 1 or 2 SPS, which is like barely a penny, right? Or single SPS is like barely a penny at this point. So it's literally just for the love of the game. It's coming in and just enjoying and playing, and having to manage cards and manage, collection and all that. That's like, that meta is fun because it's just different, right? And as I look forward now to, I'm close to hitting my SPS goal, which I said, after that, I want to focus in on land. I want to focus in on maybe getting more cards and using my rewards to actually like, reinvest them into the game, and not like reinvest them. Again, I hate using that word here, but like, just stacking as much SPS as possible, which has been my goal for most of 2025. But now actually going in and using my rewards to buy stuff in the game that I actually want to play with. survival mode has become one of the more interesting areas. Yes, land is something that I still want to do. And wild format, I actually am now considering going in and leveling up or maxing out my Chaos Legion deck, just so I can say, like, I have one core set that is maxed out, right? Because the cards are still super cheap. But as I look, as I look at what's available, I'm like, man, I could not just, get max out my Chaos Legion set, but a lot of those cards are still super cheap, right? And so therefore, since I love playing survival mode, like, it'd be fun to go in and be like, oh yeah, I have a ton of extra Kalias or a ton of extra, even like the legendary summoners, right? Would be interesting to go in and play with now that there's like value to it. So obviously, that's the survival mode side. When it comes to wild, and I've talked about this in separate videos, and I'll do another separate video if you guys really want me to get into it. But I really think that, like, the glint rewards should be different. There should be a reason that people are willing to go in and pay almost like a battle pass, right, with the season wild season permit. There should be something that's specific there for people who play wild format. So I don't know if the team can ever get to that point and, where their focus lies, but it's like we look at the amount of people that are playing in wild format, you look at the amount of people that are playing in modern format, you look at, survival mode, and it's like they're really starting to differentiate themselves from one another in many ways. And I as a player, like, just truly genuinely as a player, I'm starting to appreciate that. Now, yes, modern I think should always be the premium format where, you go in, you pay top of the line for the cards that are current, and that's where, a good amount of rewards are. And due to the scarcity of that, due to like the amount of players that are able to participate in that for one way, shape, or form, you can go in and participate there. But wild should be its own thing where it's just like, man, I really want to get this cool card, or I really want to get this cool skin, or I want to get whatever, like, that I'm willing to pay 2,000 DEC, which is, $2 a season or $4 a month. Again, I'm not saying that, like, it should be required, and in no way is it, but it's like it should be something there. And then obviously survival mode has its own thing, and hopefully with the upcoming changes to survival mode, we'll see, maybe more participation. Again, it's not even about the rewards for me, although if those go up, cool. If they go down, it's not like I was earning a bunch anyway, right? So it's just fun for me to, like, go in and build my collection. And then I know that I haven't even talked about frontier mode, but I actually have very little experience with frontier mode because I'm having, my free time to play the game has all been in wild or survival mode. So obviously frontier mode has been, where a lot of the action is happening, but like I said, frontier mode is already super different. So you have that differentiation there, and people are able to participate, and that's great for new players. But as they expand further into the game, my hope truly is that we get to see a lot of differentiation between, or I should say more differentiation now between the formats, rather than just like what cards you can use. Like, I really, really hope that, when they do survival mode, it's like, hey, there's survival mode glint, there's wild format glint, right? There's whatever. And again, I don't know how complicated this will be or how complex it'll be to code it, but it would just be interesting where it's just like, if they had 3 different glints, you could still have universal things in the store where it's just like you can use a combination of any of these glints, right, to come in. But there's like something specific there for wild format. There's something specific there for survival format. So, again, I'm just kind of rambling now. These are some thoughts that I've had as we finish out this last kind of trial season for survival mode, and we'll see what comes next once they are able to deliver that. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.